business of growing us, of elevating us, and accelerating us. But I believe that it's upon us to sink, to survive, or thrive, because he placed that choice in our hands. You either sink, survive, or thrive. So the choice is yours. And that's exactly where I want to start this evening, because we're talking about thriving in modern relationships. And you know how those can be a headache, right? You know how that can be irritating, with frustrations, with I don't know, a silver lining, but maybe this one is a black lining of disappointment. Okay? And sometimes self-condemnation, and with an ingredient of, you know how you cook and throw in? I think some of the modern relationships, there is, irritability, there is an ingredient of irritation, there is an ingredient of frustration, disappointment, and then regret, and then lack of satisfaction, lack of fulfillment. But again, that is not what these relationships were designed for. I believe in the greatest author, the beginner and the growth of our lives, authored perfect relationships that we will coexist and be interdependent and be happy while we are serving him, and be happy while we hold each other's hand. I believe in fulfillment. I believe in happiness. And I don't just speak about it. I practice it. That is why I usually boldly say that if you're talking about a bad marriage, about a bad relationship, and you're calling all men dogs and all women whatever it is, count me out. Talk about yourself. Don't generalize. Don't create a cocoon of frustration. No. Say that I am in a bad relationship and I think I can do something to either make it better or get out of it. Okay? The sooner you come to that realization and stop generalizing it and single yourself out. One of the things that I want us to talk about tonight, number one, is reflection. When it comes to thriving in modern relationships, that means you have to be very intentional. That means you have to be very willful and deliberate about you pressing a pause button. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're just starting the relationship, because some of you are moving happily and dancing your way into a relationship while there is someone who is somersaulting out of it. All right? And there's someone who is tiptoeing out of it. It's like, you're trying to ghost, ghosting. Then you give excuses. And then all of a sudden, you feel you're not fulfilled, so your foot goes out while the other one is inside. And then when you come to church, the hymns and the kalovozi. And you're like the angelic melody. But in the middle of the melody, the devil brings in the dissatisfaction and whispers into your ears. And then you start questioning God, you start questioning everything, and then you think, are these things even true? Is there a God? How many of us have ever been there? I speak of myself, I've ever been there. I've ever questioned God seriously. I told my mother, because my mother is a pastor, I told her, why did God let me start this relationship? If he proclaims the end basing on the beginning, he should have known that this relationship would never work. So why did he let me start? Because I have served him all my life. I have done everything, right by the book. And I think I have, kept myself pure. I've done the things that are supposed to be done. And I remember she just held my hands and prayed with me and told me that, she told me these words, Hilda, I have prayed for you. You will never encounter the same problems I've encountered in life. And if God has said, wait, I want us to wait in patience and in prayer and continue doing the things that he wants us to do, because you will never be married to a man that is not your father. You will be married to a man that loves you, adores you, respects you, is loyal to you, and is godly. And I said amen with a lot of tears in my heart. But that took me to a place of self-reflection. Now, when it took me to the place of self-reflection, little did I know that I was hanging around in a relationship that lacked clarity, that lacked a destiny. Okay? And I was holding on for dear life because some of us are so busy being in relationships without thinking about what kind of relationships we are in. We are so busy being in relationships. We are so busy asking God for relationships. We are so busy holding on for dear life instead of thinking, and after thinking, acting. Okay? So I was drawn back to a place of reflection. And let me tell you, that is the time I made a decision in my life that the settling season was over for me. I was not settling for lack of clarity. I was not settling for lack of direction. I was not settling for any of that. So I said, okay, who is going to give me direction? Apart from God and myself, I didn't see anyone that would give me direction. Now I said, now I'm somersaulting back into myself to reflect and be able to think clearly. What do I want? And I started auditing my life. I said, I want better finances. I ticked that. I said it's in my contract to work hard. Okay? And I said, eventually I want a good family. That means I must have a better relationship in order to create a good family. So that means any relationship or whatever relationships come my way must be sieved to be able to align with the principles and the values that I have set for myself. Okay? So reflection did so much in my life that I pressed a pause button and I opened another door of growth for myself. And let me tell you, when I started growing, there was no turning back for me. You know, someone opening a door and just keeps going, believes for the next and believes for the next, and you grow confident. And the moment you are confident, you don't just allow anything. Your life does not become a bathroom. No one gets in and out as they please. So that means you have put a doorway. You're saying no. There are those of you that are going to stop at the courtyard. There are those of you that are going to come to the sitting room, but some of you are never going to cross to the bedroom. I have chambers in my heart because I respect myself. I love myself so much, and I think I want a better life, but if I want a better future, I create it now. I create it now. So I want you to take your turn and reflect. Okay? And the reflection is not, and sometimes we really bother God. I know that God is all loving and he does not get bothered, but I think when we take these things to him in prayer, we even have specific. I want Brother John. I want Brother John. God, let his face look towards me, even when he's walking. And then some of you, when you come putting on red and Brother John is putting on red, and that is a sign from heaven. Hey. And there is a way the devil has used relationships to beat people's spirits. You find someone who was a very good minister, someone who was flying and going so far, and all of a sudden, because they got into a relationship, they are stagnating, they are stuck, and now they don't know how to get unstuck, because no one has a manual to get unstuck, because no one plans to be stuck. So the moment you have the courage to pause, because some of us think the pause is going to create an imbalance, the pause is going to shake the boat. Because then when you take the pause and say, I'm not running because others are telling me to run. Okay? I'm not having sex because others are telling me to have sex. I'm not doing anything because anyone is telling me. I should be able, because when it comes to decision making, there are three things. I want you to seek clarity. Why am I doing this? Some of you are in marriages where you had no business getting into, but you got yourself into them. Our God is a God of a second chance. Second chance does not mean get out of that marriage. Second chance is equipping you to be able to make that marriage work. Okay? So we will be honest. We will talk, and I will even ask you, how did you get in here? And I will tell you, you saw yourself that you were locking yourself in, and you locked yourself in anyway. So right now, let's put on the gloves, but let's stay in the ring. We're not getting out of the ring. Do you get me? But before you get into the ring, I will tell you, take all the time. Stand if you must. When they say jump, don't ask how high. Say, no, I don't want to jump right now. You still have the right. Up to the time where you are walking down the aisle, I've had brides call me And they say, I listened to her program, and she said, even if you're walking down the aisle and you've put on the makeup, if they said you take him as your lawfully wedded husband, before I say yes and I don't feel it in my heart, I can actually walk away. I've had 5 of them walk away. Runaway brides. And I've congratulated them. While everyone, how about the food? How about the decorators? No, you are not getting into a marriage because of decorators. You're getting into a marriage because of the covenant that will exist between the two of you after you say the vows. And no one is going to live with that person. You are going to live with that person. So you seek clarity. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? And even if you're in the marriage, because I'm talking to those, how many of us are how many of us are single? Singles, hands straight. This is where you see yourselves. This is where your prayers get answered, guys. Wanji? Okay, let's go to those that are dating. Dating, hands up. They are not sure. Where are we? Okay, Oh, awesome. Okay, let's go to the married. Married. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you. Thank you. In Christ. What are you talking about? Okay, so we have those that are married. Now you ask yourself, reflection, you ask yourself and say, I've been acting on autopilot. I've been doing things the way they come to my brain. How I know to do them, but am I doing the right thing? Because when you get married, you become 3 entities. You become part 1, part 2, and then the couple. So you care for self, care for the partner, and then care for the couple. Right? So that means you ask yourself, am I doing the right things that I am supposed to do? If you're single and someone is coming to you and then you're evaluating all the shortness and saying, I don't want short guys. Let me tell you, some of them are dying of laughter because they know themselves. Why they told me a brown man is not sweet. And I'm like, where did you get these things from? These ladies know more than they should know. So you measure everything. Ask yourself, am I acting on the bandwagon of the clique of girls around me, or am I making a personal decision? Okay? Why am I even getting married? Am I getting married so that I'll stop paying bills because I'm tired of paying rent? Or am I getting married because I actually love this guy? I care about him. If you're a gentleman, no one does a favor to anyone to marry them. No. If you don't love them, and let me tell you, this happens in church so many times, you're thinking, they've seen us around, the pastor knows, even the elders know, even the people have been talking about us, those people are an item, they're a couple, it's okay, you can un-item yourselves. You have the right to. Okay, ask yourself, am I doing this for the right reasons? And some of you, for those of you that are in situationship, after you leave here, you go back and detangle yourself or, set yourselves free. Because sometimes when you are in something, it's very hard for you to see clearly. So you step outside of it, evaluate it. Because after reflection, we evaluate. We don't judge, we evaluate. And that means you are honest, completely honest with yourself. Because in the sequence of decision making, after finding clarity, then we go to conviction. I hope those of you that are writing are writing. We go to conviction because then you have set values in your life. And sometimes we settle because we don't have standards. We settle because we don't have values. Sometimes we settle because we are tired, we are fatigued, and we are tired of fighting. That's why we settle. You're like, they have seen me in 5 relationships. Now they will say what? I'm going to the next one. You're like, let me just settle here. Fatigue. You have been running all your life. And now you're tired. So you settle. You're like, you know what? Let me just stay here. Things will learn to work. And things never learn to work because they never make themselves work. You're either in or you're out. With marriage, you're either in or out. There is no middle ground. That Kale, he's short, but I will buy shorter shoes so that we can look alike. And then when you go to church, maybe to even announce you that you're an item, you're about to walk down the aisle, you want them to stand 5 feet away from you, because then you're like, The moment you start seeing those are red flags. For example, when I'm driving and the check engine comes on, for those of you that drive, you know what that means. That does not mean that stop and, leave everything, but it's an indicator that there's something that is not working right, right? So that means it has not come to a halt. For example, a blue tick, when all goes haywire and it thinks you're about to collide into another car, or you're about to, make an accident, all the gears will not move. It will be in one place. But again, when it brings check engine, or sometimes it drives straight to the workshop, it even does not give you an indication to stop. I don't know if any of you have seen, but my car does that. It's like, check brake and drive straight to the station. It doesn't mean that I can't stop anywhere. I can choose to stop. But it's possible that if I stop, it will refuse to engage or ignite again. And it's trying to protect me because it thinks I can't drive without brakes. Okay? So sometimes we do not stop long enough to do an evaluation. And you're like, okay, now it's bringing signal. This means I should be able to respond. I should be able to engage my mechanic, or I should be able to pause this relationship. I should be able to have honest conversations in this relationship. Remember, we're talking about thriving in modern relationships. Now, modern relationships are complicated because we are not like long ago, where it was all about so a man for you, or that. No, these days we are too entitled to settle for anything like that. Too entitled. So, these days marriage hinges and relationships hinge around personal satisfaction. How satisfied am I? Okay? Do I feel good about this relationship? Is it Instagram worthy? Want you? Can I show everyone that I have a good relationship? Some of them even end up announcing how they've had a fifth round in a relationship somewhere, because people are looking for external validation these days. Too entitled, looking for external validation. Those are two recipes for disaster, okay? But your personal happiness matters. Your personal happiness matters, because marriage will never work out until you are happy. And to be happy, it doesn't mean that everything else is right and everything is correct, but we learn to manage our pain and we learn to deal with our emotions. Okay? So we have to mature to a place where, just like I said, clarity. Am I leaving this relationship because I am too immature to even handle emotional stress that is coming to me? Or am I leaving this relationship because indeed there is a lot of disrespect and lack of loyalty, and I think I can stand that? Okay? So, reflection, evaluation. In the sequence of decisions, we've talked about clarity and conviction. Now, you cannot be convicted about values that you have not set. If you have clear values, decisions are easy. If you have clear values, your decisions are easy. Because a clear value is, I want a godly man. I want a godly spouse. Let's just generalize. I want a godly spouse, okay? So if someone comes your way and all they do is bend over and all they do is shisha, it is even coming out through their ears, then, the decision is so easy. You will not even bargain. Should I take them? Should I not take them? Will they be a good partner? No. Because you have set values that is not the kind of spouse I want. You will make an about turn without questioning, and you will walk happily ever after. You'll be like, you know what? I have survived that bomb and that bullet. Because you have set values. You cannot be convicted if you do not have set values. So some of us have become so complacent and that we take anything that comes because we don't have the values. We don't have the standards. Okay? We've had people talk about the standards, but we have not gotten a paper and a pen. And after here or tonight, I want you to sit down with a paper and a pen and be able to write your heart out and be truthful to yourself and honest with yourself. Lock out all the voices of your friends, of whoever was telling you what do you want for yourself? Be very honest. What do you want? Because everything you want has a price, but you must be willing to pay it, because no one is going to pay that price. So if you want a thriving relationship, it starts from, do you love yourself enough? Do you believe yourself enough? Do you have values? Okay? Do you have standards? Or you are tired? These days we have Bakou meeting Bakou. And the mixture becomes ballistic. You have a home, but people are facing different directions. That is why one says, but for me, I'm a minister in my church, so I will not come to your church. And then you start going different directions. So you're feeding from different streams. Okay? And then when you come, you start gauging whose pastor is better than who and who taught what. And before you know it, one thinks, but you're spending too much time with the pastor, or you're consulting the pastor too much. And then people become insecure. And then all of a sudden stop going to that church. Other orders start coming out. And then before you know it, you're like, but the man I got married to, I don't understand. Two people cannot work together unless they. And that agreement comes out of clarity and set values. Number 3 is the choice. That God has placed the power of death and life in you. And he has said, God is amazing. He does not leave you hanging. That choose whichever you want. He says, but choose. He even cheats for you and says, choose that all your descendants. So the decision that you are about to make, or the decision that you made, or the decision that you are entertaining, that is not the right one, does not only affect you, but it affects to the 4th generation. Is that the seed you want to plant? Frustration. And then when your daughter goes to marry, like, abasajja, why? You made a wrong decision, and now you are passing on a wrong legacy. You are passing on frustration, you're passing on anger, you're passing on. That is why some of us swore and said we will never get married. And then we had godly people that God positioned in our lives and said, you are going to get married to a good person. And they prayed those miracles into our lives. So it is possible, okay? It is possible. But settling is not going to get you into the happiness that you want. So your season of settling is done. And then your season of reckless decisions is, say it, my season of reckless decision is, you guys are not even willing to say it, because you're like, I am not done. There is no way I am done, because John is waiting for me right now in the corner. Or because Cynthia is waiting for me, we are going home with her. The singles. Let me tell you, the devil has earmarked you, okay? Just like God has earmarked you for greatness, the devil is also looking at you, and he's thinking, if I could not jeopardize her life anywhere, let me wait at the gate of marriage. Let me wait at the gate of relationship. And then some of us feel so inadequate that if we are not with someone, or if we are not validated, then we are not anything. And I've told people that if the devil fails to attack the bigness of God in you, he attacks your adequacy. So you start feeling inadequate, and then you start settling. Okay? But we are not doing a lost cause here. So I want us to just quickly, my time. Again, I know I could have said a lot of things, but on the sequence of choice, of decision making, we have clarity, we have conviction, and we have choice. Choose life, okay? Choose what is right for you, okay? Be guided, consult, pray, okay? Be clear-minded, be level-headed. No one should make that decision for you. Some of us expected that I'm going to talk about, create trust. We are past that level. Because if you know how to make decisions, creating trust is the list of things and list of worries that you have. If you know your values, okay, you are not going to say, how do I deal with disrespect? You have values, set values. So you go back and look at your values, look at what is happening, and say, this is wrong. And you make a decision. That decision could be to have a tough conversation with someone. Very hard conversation. You look them in the eyes and say that, you know what? I have forgiven this for so long, but I don't think I am a Jesus or I am a God. Enough of this stupidity. You call a spade a spade. Say you do it one more time, there are repercussions. You read them, their verdict, and there are repercussions. And be bold enough to put the repercussions into. Because when it happens again, and then you cry. This is what we do. Because sometimes we are defeated. You start crying, and then after crying, tables turn, and words are spoken, and then you stay in the same thing. Especially for those that are in relationships, you still have a chance to escape. Yeah. If you need me to hold your hand while you're escaping, please. I am willing, because I know the repercussions of a bad marriage. Yeah. Marriage burns. Sorry? Sorry? Should you? The marriage? No, I'm saying if you make a wrong decision, a bad marriage, okay? Marriage is good. I'm in the happiest of marriages. Oh, and I would wish everyone, to find the happiness that I have. I would wish that on everyone. That is my prayer. And that is why I said I will never stop speaking. Because the people in good marriages are whispering and the people in bad marriages are screaming. So it is time that we overturn the tables, that the people in good relationships and good marriages, we speak up and say that it is possible to be loyal. It is possible to be faithful. It is possible to serve God, and it is possible to bring up a happy family. It is possible. To say that the trauma ends with me, it is not crossing into my generation. I am the gatekeeper and the watchman of my generation. So what happened to me is not happening to my children. Not to the second generation, not to the third, and not to the fourth. The fourth will stand and testify that we had a great-grandmother called Bahati, and that woman walked with God. And that woman stood up for a happy relationship. That woman respected our father. That woman was loyal to our father. And that woman held us in prayer. That is the testimony that I want. I would love that on my tombstone, that I was that woman that, not on my watch. You do not go down the drain. You will not flush your life down the drain. Not on my watch. Okay? So, whatever decision you are trying to make right now, I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, is this the right thing? We have a business, as I close, because I want us to ask a few questions. We have a business of calling God to bless what we are doing instead of doing what is already blessed. Sorry? Instead of us getting into the blessings of God, we have a way of saying, and then after that we call God to come and bless what he does not endorse. God will come, you get it? But let me tell you, the repercussions of what you have done will never go away. For example, if you got AIDS, if you're just moving anyhow, sambala, and you got AIDS, God will forgive you. He's a merciful God, but he's not going to take away the AIDS. Okay? So that means you should be able to know what are the repercussions. Okay? Think. Some of us, this is what, one thing led to another. What kind of foolishness is that, really? One thing led to another. On an adult. So your brain froze. And then when it froze, someone touched you. And then all of a sudden, your pants slid off. And then all of a sudden, they fell on you. And all of a sudden, you got a child out of wedlock. I am not beating up people that get children out of the wedlock, because those things happen and we learn from our mistakes. But while you still have the chance to think. You can hold your pant while it is going. Yeah. It stops midway, and you're like, no, I have remembered. While you're unzipping, and there's a quarter remaining to fully unzip. And then you're like, do I want forever to be held at ransom because of a child that I produced somewhere? Because of a careless seed that I scattered somewhere? And then they will use it against you. You have to give us this much money, and then you can't see the child, and then you stay with the heartache for the rest of your life. Why? Because you couldn't zip it. Then you start having baby mamas and baby mamas. Oh! If a normal man can't manage one woman, just imagine. You having 3 baby mamas. The kind of stress that comes. You know, women, we are chaos naturally. We will speak a lot, we will think a lot, we will do this. But those things are natural things that God has given to us because we are nurturers. And we could never nurture generations without those gifts. Though sometimes we misuse them because we pour them on wrong people. With the right person, you don't have to ask to be loved. Am I asking for too much to be loved? No, let your actions speak. Sometimes you're not going, can we ask the questions? No, let's ask the questions. Anyone with a question, please? We have 5 minutes, so let's use them.
Anyone with a question? If you have a question. Is everything okay?
People are saying, but they're saying, how do I even start asking? Some of us are fearful. Kale, you can ask for your friend or your neighbor.
Who wants to ask for a neighbor?
Yes, please. There is one here. We have a hand here.
Thank you very much. Most often, we've made decisions because we thought they were the right decisions to make.
Yes.
We've made choices because we thought they were the right choices. We've decided to make these choices and decisions at a time when we thought that was the right time. But somehow, somewhere, it turns out that we were wrong. In hindsight, how would we have known they weren't right?
Okay.
Thank you.
In hindsight, how do we have known? So if you have paper and pen, you write types of decisions. Number 1, wrong decision. Number 2, right decision. Number 3, good decision. I'm serious. Some of you thought I'm not serious. Okay? So, the right decision, that means you are presented with the wrong and the bad. Okay? And you ask yourself, is this what I want as a person? Is this, the clarity that we talked about, is it taking me anywhere? Is it in alignment with my goals, with where I want to go? Because we know you want to be successful, right? And you know what will make you successful. All of us know the things that are going to make us successful. We know that it's supposed to be hard work, it's supposed to be consistency, it's supposed to be determination. We all know. The thing is, we just fail to do them, okay? So when you talk about a right choice, is it in alignment with your beliefs? Is it in alignment with where you want to go? And then it has an essence of ethics, okay? Am I not just stepping on people's toes for me to get where I want to get? So that means the right choice, you're not just looking at your personal satisfaction, but you are looking at the people that you love and care about, whether they also are cared for while you are making that decision. Right? So that is the right decision. Now, the right decision, number 2, the wrong decision. Let's just go with that. The wrong decision, we clearly know it's not in alignment with what we want to do. But remember, the wrong decisions are the easiest to make. You actually don't have to make a decision. You might as well slide into life, and it will look like wrong decisions. A bribe comes, you eat it. A babe walks by, and they have a good gundi platform, and you're like, eh? And as in, it's so easy to do a wrong decision, okay? But when it comes to a good decision, that is the hardest decision to make. Do you know why? Because there is no choice between wrong and bad. The choice is between good and good. For example, you could have gone, the weather was a bit cloudy, so you could have gone home to sleep. That was a good choice, right? Coming here was also a good choice, right? So now, you choosing and saying, it is more beneficial for me to show up for the fellowship than to go and sleep. That is a good decision. That means you say, this is good, but I want the best. So you choose the best out of the good, or you choose the best out of the better. So in hindsight, how would you have known that you were making the wrong decision? Let's take an example. You're marrying a girl. And in your heart of hearts, you are not excited. There is no enthusiasm. As in, you've gotten to the wit's end about it, but you're thinking, I'm a Christian. You're thinking, what will they say? So you are deciding because of other people. You're not deciding according to your alignment with the values, with godliness, and with the kind of future that you want to. Because the end should inform the beginning. That I want to have a happy marriage. And you're saying, I'm going to wake up beside this woman every single day of my life. So if I look at them and every time I'm editing their nose, I'm like, Kali, I wish they had a smaller one. I wish they had a brown color. I wish they had a bigger butt. I wish they had, Then you're thinking, who am I fooling? Who am I fooling? So you're like, you know what? And let me tell you, when you stop making the wrong decision, or when you make the right decision, there is a way you breathe. You feel a sense of relief and liberation. Even when you walk out of a relationship, you're like, oh God, I don't know where I have been. Like, I have been chained all this while because it feels like a luggage. And all of a sudden you can sleep like a baby with no worries. Okay? And I think that is how God even confirms to us that His is the peace that surpasses human understanding. And to His blessing, He does not add sorrow. So why that to a relationship that is supposed to cause you happiness, you are the same one that is in premium tears? Why? That means the equation is not adding up somewhere. That is why I said reflect and evaluate. Does that answer your question? Thank you.
Any other person with a question? I think Amos.
Okay.
Then we shall have her.
Yes, please. Okay. 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 Mm. Mm-hmm. 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 My marriage. Mm. Mm. Okay. Okay. Then you need to have an honest conversation. An honest conversation. They made this choice, and one thing with regret, it causes us a level of desperation that goes into a depression. Okay? And a level of frustration and disappointment that runs so deep that it crosses into depression. And remember, when we talk about depression, God gave us all the ability to handle stress in small quantities. Now, when the stress takes longer than it should in your body, then it crosses over into a depression. That is when you come from being reactionary, you're normal. And all of a sudden, you start being reactionary. Okay? You react and you're agitated, the irritability goes on. And then we cross into the injured. When you're irritable, and around that moment, it's easy for someone to talk to you and be able to counsel you. That is what churches and coaches and counselors do. Because someone comes and they are reactionary, okay? I am snapping, I am shouting, I am tired, I'm fatigued. Now, when it crosses into the injured is when you actually need medication. because then you start losing your memory, you start losing the insomnia, you stop sleeping, and then that is where you start being forgetful. That is where your productivity at work declines. That is where you don't want to see any friends. You want to isolate. And I know while I speak some of these things, some of you are actually undergoing them. And you just don't feel like waking up to go to work. You just feel like you are done with all your friends and nothing. So you are injured. And in that moment, because of insomnia, we say you have to see a clinical psychologist, because we have to prescribe a little bit of medicine on top of the counseling in order for you to be able to function so well. Because with productivity, you cannot spend a sleepless night and then hope to be productive at work. Okay? So when it crosses into the illness, that is what we call the illness. That is why people sometimes go to Butabika, you know? And not to Butabika because they are mad, but because it is beyond talk. It is beyond just simple medicine or antidepressants. Now they have to go heavy on medicine, and they have to take time off away from people to be rehabilitated and to come back to normal functioning. Okay? So now when we talk about your friend, okay, there have been phases. She got into this. It's possible that she thought she was redeeming herself, or there was happiness, there was enthusiasm, because fresh things have a way of exciting us. Okay? So she lands into a bad relationship, but she cannot tell it's a bad relationship, or she's not confident enough to jump out of it. She keeps going. One child becomes two, or whatever it is, but the relationship is cemented over time. So everyone knows she's in marriage. She can't tell everyone I'm jumping out of a marriage. But because she has access to you and she has ever been emotional with you, she feels like you are the only get pass for release. So she's releasing to you, but in releasing, she's making you feel guilty for not helping her. And that is wrong, because she should be able to handle her issues. Yours is to help and say, you know what, right now you are injured, and you definitely, a normal human being cannot assess like that. You do like that because you're a psychologist, but you say, you know what, you're past that level where I can help you as a person, because the help that she needs from you is for you to take her back. All that. She wants to run from a marriage to cross into a relationship. Not a relationship, but a situationship. Because this situationship will not have defined values. It will be like, I'm trying to save you. And such people play around with people who are empathetic, and people who are too understanding, and people who are too generous, and people who are God-fearing. And most times, such people are usually toxic or narcissistic. So they will manipulate you into doing what they want you to do in order to get them out of a bad situation. But the thing is, get them a help that is not you. Find them a counselor that is not you, and say, the best thing I can do, I can pay for a series of sessions, like 5 sessions. See that person, and not just a conventional counselor. One who will say, let's pray, God will make it fine. You need someone who will go deeper and say the truth and cut them and bleed and make sure that they understand that they made that decision. And if they're making that decision to get out of that marriage, they're not getting out of that marriage getting into another. They are taking a break and healing and reviving themselves and being able to know, do I still want this marriage, or do I want to get out of it? But with guidance and with someone holding their hands. But it can't be someone who has ever been emotional with them. It has to be someone who will call a spade, and someone who will not fear to hurt them, because the truth hurts. But it sets free. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me run. Oh, okay.
Thank you so much. I have a question, and it's not only for me, I think it would also be for other people around here.
Okay.
That we be in church, and we all know that it's very good to get married to someone who is your friend. So we happen to be around, it can still be happening on the male side or on the feminine side, that you have these friends, but in church we all have the brother-sister thing. And then you get confused by how certain people treat you. And
as to
on
whether
the
they
side-
love you or they are
Yes.
just friends.
Yes, and on the side of
Ate ba brother
us ladies,
bakisusa.
you can't,
Nakuhaginga nasigala mu kifuba for 5 minutes.
and on the side of us, it's not ideally in African tradition, we are not taught that we should have that conversation, that you come out and ask someone, or that honest conversation and ask someone, what are you up to? Because you may end up asking everyone, because some people really Okay, for me that
They give wrong
yes,
cues.
wrong impression.
Yes.
So to me, as I'm trying to grow out of it, I would still want advice, and I think it's not only happening to me.
It's to so many.
Yes.
Yes.
So how do we streamline that?
Okay.
And how do the female get out of it and the males are the same?
Okay.
Thank you.
Two, I will address it in just 2 and under 2 minutes, okay? So keep me accountable. So actually under 1 minute, okay? So number one, we're going to, I am going to shake some tables. Now, we have at some point to throw away the African belief and African culture. Especially because there is someone who is going to cross into the inner courts. That is not just like anyone that is giving you wrong clues, but this person is really giving you all the wrong. For example, they even hug you and peck you. What business do you have pecking someone that you have nothing with? Okay? And then they hold your hand while you're crossing the road. And then they hold you in the waist after your choir practice. And then when they call you, hi, babes, how are you doing? And, you know, and then they call you sweetheart. And that's a recipe for a heartbreak. Because it's possible you're saying then that to 5 other girls. Because some boys don't know what they want. They are not yet at the level of maturity. So when they see brown, they're like, yeah, dark-skinned chocolate, eh? They're like, let me entertain as many as I can, and then I will make a choice when I feel like making a choice. Oh, I will settle with one when I'm eventually ready. That is why sometimes they will louse around and hang around with you, and everyone thinks you're the one. And then all of a sudden, marriage date comes and they're marrying another person. And then you're here crying and dancing a broken heart. And then, whenever people ask you, but we were not dating, we were just friends. So no, you have an honest conversation with them, especially someone who has crossed too much, okay? And then you tell them, lekera okumbuzabza. And by the way, it can be in a joking way. Lekera okumbuzabza. What are you saying? Do you want a relationship with me, or you are just lousing around? Because if I'm your friend, then I should know to have limits, because soon you'll get into a relationship, and I don't want to spoil your relationship. And then a person who will not show agamba, neda nawe, but you know I really care about you. Agamba, no, take the care away. I want a yes or a no, a straight answer. And before you say that, you should be able to be tough and brave enough to know that you can walk away. Whether with tears in your eyes, you're the one who has made a decision, the tears are flowing, but you're like, Kali, let me go. Let me go. And then sometimes you're hoping someone is even going to follow after you. But I was lying. You get it? So you should be able to speak, because then you're going to waste your time. I have seen people who have wasted 8 years of their lives while they're waiting on a certain man in church. They sing, this brother drops them and buys them things in a supermarket. And I was also a culprit. Ndete. So one time, this particular guy, he falls in love with me. Bambinzenga simanyi. Banaye nalia chapat. Nalia kebab. What? Pilau. I remember I come from a poor family. So my friend, by the time you bring kebabs and pilau, please keep them coming. But little did I know, Bambi, he was really serious, man of God. Like, I didn't know. So one time out of the blue, he calls me. I want to meet you. I'm like, without the other choir members, without what? It's okay, I just want us to have the meeting. And you know, some brothers, they've been spiritualized, they make things spiritual, eh? They don't even come out and say the things. They make them, you know, I want us to have a meeting, you know, prayer meeting. And then poor you go thinking it's a prayer meeting. Then you come. So he throws a bomb on me. You know, from day one, you're a godly person. That is why I took long to tell you, but now I am telling you. And then the whole time I was looking at him saying, kulava jogenda, that go slow. In my heart. But in my heart, I was so determined not to rupture the bowl or to rupture the bomb in front of him. So I ate my food. I ate pilau again. Meanwhile, he could not even make it past 2 forks. And then majestically, I told him that, you know what, I will call you and I will give you an answer. And I walked away. So this particular time, no, I didn't ghost him. This particular time, I called him to my mother's compound. I remember I was even sick, and he brought pilau again. So, before even eating, because I was really sick, so I told him that, you know what, I heard everything that you told me, but I'm already taken. Huh! You should have seen hell break loose. The one turned into a lion. Who is that? I'm like, is it your business? Nange sigenda. Njagala mumanya kwanza bikukwatira kuwa. Like, you have disappointed me. You were the yardstick of all women in my life. Now I will never love any other woman. Mgamba, go slow, go slow. If you had told me this 5 years ago, or how many years ago, you have seen me in church, I have grown up in church, I've clearly gone from Sunday school to band, Simanyi to choir, Simanyi to what. I have gone through all levels. You should have told me at some point. But I am taken to this date. He does not like me. We became enemies in Christ. But the thing is, he mentioned late, but again, we were 2 worlds apart. If you know what I mean. There is someone being, I'm a modern girl, growing up, putting on high-waisted skirts and, you know, pencils and what, and you're the kind who is, you know, this brother, he has gotten a revelation. So all of a sudden you're telling, as in, you don't see where we meet. You don't, because even the people that he told a certain pastor, and that pastor came to me laughing. I was like, but really, I think some people give themselves too much hope. But now, so I try to envision the 2 of you, and I don't see where, as far as the west is from the east, are the 2 of you, okay? So, be honest. Ask them, okay? And the other trick is, you can stop entertaining their lovey-dovey things. Stop entertaining it. When they come to hug you, give them a side hug. And be busy. Mind your business. From whether choir practice or from church, tambula. Omanyinga fuso ya kutuka center bolt. Tambula ngo tunudeni na yenga you mean to walk this side. And get out. As in, do not entertain them. Let them miss you. Because sometimes the reason as to why people take long to come out of their hiding and say the truth is because we have entertained mediocrity for the longest time. So stop entertaining mediocrity. Akupeki ngobu mwabutuka tebutuka. Ayogera bintu bivaayo tebivaayo nanagira. So the moment you stop blessing them with your presence, when they miss you, they will come and say the truth. So you have 2 weapons. I'm already past a minute, but I love you guys. I love you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for this honor to be part of this fellowship. And thank you, for Pastor, for this kind of work. I know that yours is a huge kind of calling, and I know that it's not easy. And then us being young people, it's also not easy in a world that is just looking and ready to devour and to tear us apart. But let's be wise and let's make the right decision.
Thank you so much. Before you go, we want to have a group photo, a group photograph. Please, can I request all of us to come in front here and our guest speaker to have a group photograph. Let's do it quickly. Though our program still continues. Let's do it quickly. Who is taking the photograph? Some of us, we can come.
Faithfulness more than to me. Summer and winter and springtime harvest, sun, moon, and stars in their courses.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Join with all nature in manifold witness to thy high faithfulness.
Thank you so much. We are so much grateful. Thank you so much, Hilda Bahati, Sapiti. May God bless you. Our program still continues. We are not done. We are not done with our program. Let's take back our. Let's take back us. Let's get back to our seats.
I have need thy hand doth provided. Gratitude.
Thank you so much. This is going to be our next on the program. Can I invite the choir to have one song, please? The choir, do you mind coming for one number? As you organize yourselves, you're going to go into introducing ourselves. Immediately after the choir has finished a song, we're going to do introductions.
coming back.
Let's give them a big applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Blessed hearts for the wonderful music. May the good Lord bless each one of you. Now, we want to do some introductions. I know there's some people who have come late. Those who have missed the presentation, please go on YouTube. I think Brian has shared a link on a Yelp group, the WhatsApp group. And you can go through the whole presentation, which has been given by Hilda Bahati. So it's all there. You can go and watch and watch and watch, or even can go and share it with some other friends of yours to benefit from what you two have benefited from. Now, some simple announcement. Can I see Harriet? Council Harriet? Council Harriet? Council Harriet? Yes, please. Do you mind standing? Just stand. Let the people see you. Then let me say this when they're seeing you. Council Harriet, she's representing the Glorious Singers. The Glorious Singers, they're having Thanksgiving for 35 years of service. And it's going to be at MTN Arena on 14th of May. I'm told she has all the tickets. For the kids, 10,000. Then there are tickets of 20, 50, 150, and a table of 5 at 1 million. You can approach her and you get yourself a ticket and be part of the Thanksgiving for this amazing choir for the 35 years of service they have been doing. May God bless you. This is the time for introducing ourselves. I don't know where should I start from. Where should I start from? I should start from the yellow side or the red side? I should start from there. Okay. Now, allow me, I'm going to decide where to start from. I'm going to start with my brother. My brother Edison. I'm going to welcome Edison to come here. He's the one I want him to stand here because he's introducing himself for the first, as in the first person. Let him come here. I will give him 1 minute. After introducing himself, then we shall proceed with the person next to him. But all others, we shall introduce ourselves from where we are. But for Edison, please, since he's the first person, you're welcome.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pruka, and I am happy to be here. I practice and I promote natural medicine and wellness. I run a wellness center at Cham Towers. You're all welcome. And while I was walking in, somebody asked me to mention something. There is something that we brought in from Korea recently, and I believe it can help you or someone that you know. Could be a mother or someone. In my 10 years of experience in wellness, there are usually 3 challenges that we meet. Number 1, when it comes to detection, usually people detect what they are suffering from in the late stages because that's what we have. Number 2, sometimes the detection is wrong detection. And number 3, majority of the detection services do not show you the root cause of the problem. So you have ulcers and you treat ulcers for 8 years, 10 years, but you don't know what is causing the what? The ulcers. We brought in a service that is able to detect accurate detection, but also it helps you to see the root cause of what you're suffering from so that you can be able to attack the treatment based on the cause of what you're having. That's all that I have. I have a few flyers right there at the back. You can pick and read and know how the technology works and how it can help someone in your family. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. Did he say he's married? Is a husband to? Thank you so much, Edson. The mic has been given to the next person. Please, you can stand and introduce yourself.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Colin is my name from Bonga SDA Church. I am married with many children.
Wow, thank you so much. I've also been told to recognize everyone who has come from Bunga SDA Church. Bunga SDA Church. How many of us have come from Bunga SDA Church? Oh, you're welcome. And then also those ones from Najanankumbi. I can't. Wow, you are much more welcome. Then those who are from KCC. Wow, and those from Mount Olives. Wow, and many of us who are here. May God bless you. Also, let me have a mic. Oh, those from Chirinya. Oh, you're welcome. Now, you're going to introduce yourself. Then later, you give the microphone to him. I'm going to be introducing from this side and the other side, since we have more microphones, so you can go ahead. Simple introduction, then we go ahead. The music, we can be having some nice love music in the background.
Good evening.
I'm told.
Oh my God.
Please, you can go ahead.
Good evening to you all. My name is Odetta Dushimana. A church member of Kampala Central Church and a youth choir member. I'm so happy to meet all of you. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you so much, Odetta. Let's the other gentleman behind who is having the microphone. Please, you can stand and introduce yourself.
Good evening. Paul Chaze is my name.
Paul Chaze. Okay. The next one, he has given the microphone.
Good evening. I'm Bira Jessica from SDH Tita.
You're much more welcome. Yes, please, you can.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joshua Kasimagwa. I'm a draftsman.
You're welcome. Yes, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm Hilda Bahati. I'm from Abaita Babidi SDA Church. It's in
You-
Entebbe.
Wow.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Then let me give my brother here. You can be holding the mic as he introduces himself.
Good evening, everyone. I'm by names of Oscar Roy Tachilambuli. I'm from Najana Nkumbi.
You're welcome. You can give the mic to her.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name's of Nagada Lilian from Najana Nkombe. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Give the mic to him.
Good evening to you all. I'm Semwanga Andrew Sembatia from Najana Nkumbi SDA Church.
You are.
I'm a businessman, scrap buyer.
You are welcome. You're welcome.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
My name is Rina Mutes. I pray from Najana Nkumbi. I stay in Deje. I do sell land. I deal in land. I do buy and sell. I also do brokery. I sell buildings, anything to do with property, every kind of land, cheap, expensive, for commercial, for residential, for anything, please contact me. Thank you.
Can I buy one of the buildings along Kampala Road through your contact? Thank you so much. Can I have her with the mic? Good evening.
Tukahewa Robina from Namungo SDA.
You are welcome. The next one.
Good evening. I'm Justin Damulida from Namungo SDA Church.
You are welcome.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone.
Hi.
I'm Tina Dorian from Namungo SDA Church.
You are welcome. Yes, please.
I greet you all. My name is Grace Mukashaka from Najana Nkumbi.
You are welcome.
Evelyn Asimwe from Najana.
Hey, Bill has not heard. I'm asking for Bill. He has not heard your name.
Evelyn Asimwe.
Oh, I know Bill has heard your name. Thank you so much, Evelyn Asimwe. Yes, please.
Good evening. Kira Tracy from Magele.
You are welcome. People from Magere.
Good evening, everyone. By the names of Nakajiri Victor, Najana Nkumbi.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Barbara Bainenganda from Najana Nkumbi SDA Church. I'm a secretary by profession.
Microphone the other side.
Hello, children of God. My name is Mirembe Brenda from Najana Nkumbi Church, and I stay at Najana Nkumbi.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Before the next person comes, before the next person introduces herself, I want to also welcome the people who've been here for the very first time. Let's see those who have been here for the very first time. Wow. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. May God bless each one of you. Please come back next time. And then there are those ones who are not SDAs. If you know you're not a Seventh-day Adventist and you're here, please raise your hand and say, wow. May God bless each one of you. We are so much humbled to have you here. If you're near that person, please give them a side hug. A side hug. Okay. We're going to our next person. Yes, please.
Good evening. My name Kanyuzi Dore from Najana Nkumbi.
You are welcome. Yes, please.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Wolfgang Conrad from Najana Nkumbi.
You're welcome.
Very good evening to you all.
Good evening.
I'm Rachel Maria Naluma Sowefumbe from Najana Nkumbi.
You are welcome.
Good evening to you all.
Good evening.
How are you doing?
Fine.
My name is Shadrach, Bash Shadrach. Yes, Bash Shadrach. And I'm a tech entrepreneur, but my profession, a UI UX designer. So that is in software development. And also there is a platform that we are launching on 28th. It is helping people with disability to connect with their support. So we are launching it at American Center, Kavalagala. Thank you so much.
Please, if it's possible, leave our invitation at the reception so that those who would love to, if we are all invited, please.
Well, it's so absurd, but already invitation has been sent and the number is given.
Can the MC
but next
be invited?
time, I'm going to invite you.
Oh. At least the MC to be invited.
I'll see the MC.
Okay, thank you so much. Those are the advantages of being an MC. Oma, you're welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Good evening. My name's Tumsime Immaculate Chogabiru.
You are welcome.
Najana Nkumbi.
You're welcome, Immaculate.
Hello.
Hi.
Samson Suvuga by the name. I'm an electromechanical engineer. I come from SETA SDA.
Oh, you are welcome.
I was invited by a friend, and I'm glad to be here.
Oh, thank you so much. Please, the friend who has invited you, please, a handshake. A handshake to. Thank you.
Smile, Jesus loves you.
Smile, Jesus loves you too.
My name is Invisible Patience. I'm an accountant by profession. I sell children's clothes from 0 age to 10 years. Or from Bunga Central SDA.
How many of us have children here from 0 to 10 years? Patience. Please see all those hands. Those are your customers. Thank
They
you.
are welcome.
Thank you so much, Patience.
It's in Imbarwa, but delivery service is available.
Online, please, guys, we've gone online. So, location, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp. You'll see the MC. Okay, please.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I'm Lucinda Sharon from Bunga Central. Nice meeting you guys.
You're welcome. So, let's get to this mic before that mic is being used. My brother here. Are you seeing him?
Hello, good evening. I'm pleased to see you all. Twesije Amon is my name. I'm a lawyer by profession, and I do practice with Tumwewa. No, it's now TAC Advocates, sorry. TAC, T-A-K Advocates. We are at Ambassador House, Kampala Road. Glad to see you all. I see faces I know. I see so many other new faces. I'm glad that we are meeting as a YAP once again in power. And I pray that our next time we are even much more than this. Yeah, thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Allen Wanyana. I congregate at KCC. Have a blessed evening.
Yes, please. It's allowed. It's allowed. They can go through the MC and...
I'd forgotten that one. I am inviting all of you. No one should miss. Yes, everyone who's here, call your friends. The next retreat next year is going to be massive. What you saw was just a tiny bit. More is coming.
Thank you, Alan.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'm Nakas Tendo Tracy. Yes, nice meeting you. Hello. I'm a nurse by profession, and I pray from Makere now Flavi.
You are much welcome.
Hello, everyone. I'm Namugambe Harriet. I pray from Najana Nkumbi SDA. I'm a counsel. I work with UPDF and
Princess Ruedezam. I'm from Naja. I'm Princess Ruedezam from Naja. Nice to meet you.
You are welcome.
she's the agent.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mugisha Samuel from Bunga SDA.
You are welcome. Let's have the other mic. The other mic. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Fancy Mesara is my name. I pray from East Kampala. Currently, I lecture at Bugema University, and I'm a business lady.
You are welcome. Mr. Edson asked me which music. You were asking which kind of music? Love songs. Love. Yes, if they can. And they are going to be... can we have an interlude with the music from the band? And then, like in a minute, then we can continue with the... I know some people here want already to register. Our treasurer, people want to register for the next fellowship, please. Thank you so much, my brother. Before you go, please, can we know your name and please, you might play this violin on my proposal.
First of all, I'm so excited to be in such a congregation of people who have life in them. Everyone looks happy, people are smart. I am so happy to be part of you. Now, my name is Matovu Charles, but my stage name is the Afro Violinist. This is the violin, and I'm always having volume on my head, and I'm always on stage as the Afro Violinist. I have a brother of me here who plays a sister instrument, the flute. He might play you a couple of lovey-dovey songs here, right? And he can introduce himself because he's right here.
Maybe you can do some other. My name is Gilbert Setuma. I play the flute, it's this one here. And maybe if time allows, you can just do one more instrumental with this. I don't know.
Good. I've always seen these things from the Chinese. To give us a sample of the flute. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Let's give them another big applause. May God bless each one of you. And where can you be found? My brothers, where can you be found? What's your address?
My address is Mengo, but I can be contacted on phone as well as him. So if they can write down somewhere, we can give them our phone numbers. Yeah, it's okay.
You can just get onto them here and then you get their numbers. Thank you so much.